One of the reasons we keep coming back to this issue of home ownership on this show is because all the reports say at the current rate, 50% of black wealth could be wiped out as a result of the home foreclosure crisis. What does your data show, and what specifically is HUD doing to target African Americans and this issue? I understand, the rising tide lifts all boats, but when you talk about 50% of all black wealth, that affects the next 2 to 3 generations.
And look, Roland, let's be clear. African-American communities were targeted with these subprime loans. There's no question about it. My experience working in New York City when I was housing commissioner, Jamaica, Queens, 60% of all loans in 2006, subprime loans, even though you had an average income of over $100,000. So there's no question that there was targeting here and that we need to make special efforts. And so a few things that are absolutely critical. One is, we can have all the programs in the world, but if we don't have counselors on the ground in those communities that are trusted, we're not going to get that help to folks on the ground. And so we've significantly increased our counseling, a third increase in our budget this past year in a very tough budget year. That's critical. A second thing is we need to make sure that we have lending available. Too often what we've seen is that as in crises like this, the private market recedes, and all of a sudden we've left the African American community high and dry. New numbers out last week on what share of African Americans were using FHA. The numbers are really pretty amazing. 60% of all African Americans who bought a home last year used an FHA loan. And then when you include Veterans Administration loans and loans from the Agriculture Department, 80% of all African Americans who bought a home used a government guaranteed loan. And so were it not for the Obama administration stepping up and pressing, you wouldn't have capital available in the African American community. So, and then the last thing I'd say is, one of the most important things we've done is when you see not just 1 or 2 foreclosures, but a dozen foreclosures on a block, what you know is that neighborhood's at real risk. Because a foreclosure not only hurts the person that's in the home, it hurts the whole neighborhood. And so we've put $7 billion now targeted into communities that have been hardest hit by foreclosures. 60% of that money has gone to communities of color. So we absolutely recognize that this has had a disproportionate impact on certain communities, and we need to do more there, and that's exactly what we're doing.